Welcome to another episode of the Locked It series, where we share with you how we sell some challenging homes as well as some record-breaking prices that we have set as a team. So today we have a new guest, a new face.
Hi.
And her name is
Jervis
Isaiah Ng, as well as Grace Cheong. So for some who don't know her, I think, her videos are quite popular lah. Based on the views that I'm seeing online. She's one of my preferred hosts as well. And Grace is actually someone who is about, how old this year? No, I'm just joking. You don't have to say her age. She is a millennial herself. And she's also... You let her say something. You're Gen Z. You're not Gen Z. You're definitely a millennial. She's a millennial herself who wants to be a Gen Z, someone who loves cats, but also someone who is extremely dependable and reliable in our JNA sales force. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So what are we going to talk about today, Key Grace?
We're going to talk about how we locked it.
Yes. And, sometimes, right, it's very important for the mic to point towards you. If not, it's very hard for us to hear sometimes. So this is actually some of the ways that we used to hint to one another, if the setup is a little off. But yeah, the mic has to point here. Yeah?
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Rotate it a little bit more like this. So that, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about this unit that I remembered. It's one of the toughest homes that we had to sell.
Yep.
And I recall that this unit is all the way at Flora Drive.
Yep, Dahlia Park all the way at Flora
Which
Drive.
takes 20 minutes of a bus ride to get to the nearest MRT station.
Yeah.
So location doesn't really apply right here. Yeah. And to make matters better, this home is actually facing
a bin center. A substation. A kids playground. Visitors car park.
And it's also a patio unit.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, there are a few... there was just this season in our life where we got a lot of patio units to sell.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we managed to sell all of them. But there are just 3 types of properties that are super hard to sell. Actually 4 lah. Okay.
Patio.
Tenanted. Yeah, right. Patio. Penthouse. Tenanted. Facing bin center or substation.
Yes.
So we actually got 2 of the 4 good points of the home, right?
Yeah.
But I think we did a good job. We sold it within 1 month and we sold record price. So maybe you can share with us a little bit more about the context of this deal. How did we even get this customer at first, right? And then the Zoom call that we had and all the way till, going down to the site and seeing the unit itself.
Yeah. So I think when the client reached out to us, he had been listing it with another agent for 8 months, about 40 viewings at that time.
Yeah.
So he was pretty frustrated because they didn't get any offers. And they didn't really have a lot of feedback from the previous agent. So they were on the verge of giving up when they came to look for us. And then we were telling them, let's just try one more time and see how we can actually come in with our marketing efforts to help you offload this home.
Absolutely.
So when he shared about the home, we knew about the challenges, and then we had to brainstorm on how to sell such a challenging home.
And I remember when the client first inquired and texted me, I think 3 p.m. that afternoon.
Yep.
Right? And we had a Zoom call at 5 p.m.
Yes.
It was the first time where we could have a 2-hour notice Zoom call. Yeah, we didn't have to plan a few days ahead. And he was telling us that, one of my best friends is selling this home.
Yes.
For 8 months, right?
Yep.
Yeah. 40 viewings. My best friend is giving up. I am giving up. And when he met us, he's like, you know what? I think maybe you don't sell this house lah. Maybe we can just think about how to buy another property under another person's name. We're like, wait. Let us try it. But of course, we didn't know, we haven't gone for the site visit yet.
Yeah.
We didn't know that there were all of these attributes surrounding the property. And what was your first feeling when you went for the site visit? I mean, we went there and what's the first thing that caught your eye?
Okay, the first thing I think was the bin center first.
Yeah.
Because when you go into the kitchen, right, it's really as you're washing up your food or when you're cooking, they're literally facing the bin center.
Yep.
So we knew at that point that was one of the main concerns that buyer had.
We're still joking that when you're cooking halfway, maybe the rubbish truck will drive past. But luckily, the rubbish truck took the other road, right?
So I think we took the effort to ask around to see, when the rubbish truck actually comes in and realized that it actually doesn't take the route. So there was something that we shared to the buyers that also came.
Yes. Yeah. So we will talk a little bit more about how we actually problem solve and sell this unit eventually. But I think maybe we can take a look at how this home tour looked like first. So this is actually the home tour. If you guys don't know. Yeah, I think our media team did a great job.
Yes, it was my first home tour.
It was her first private home tour, first home tour, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I must say that you did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's take a look. Yeah, I remember this part over here where we entered. There was this very nice entryway. And I was just going to show you guys a little bit more about the... Yeah, this is the part, right? If you can pause here and take a look. Actually, this part here is where the outdoor car park was, the visitor lot was. And then there was also like this children's playground that was right there. And you know, it was perfect for the son because the son loves running around.
Yeah.
I remember the son running out through this door over here that leads to the balcony, and then which is a patio space, and it ran all the way to the playground, right? So let's see. I remember there was a part where there was a kitchen. The dining room was, this is the kitchen. Let's take a look at the kitchen. Okay, so I remember like this part was the kitchen, right? And we even deliberately like tried to blur out some of the parts there. And then, you know, we wanted to really show off the space of the kitchen, and we told the videographer like, okay, you know, let's just like try to, I know you want to catch the angle as wide as you can to make the home look good and bright, but then it was also important for us to like not show every single thing because, you know, buyers usually fall in love when they come into the home and not before that. Yeah, and then we of course have Grace Part, who was like going through the entire property right here at the bedroom. Yeah, and it was amazing because I remember that there were like how many people inside? Six. And 2 elderlies, right?
Yes, and two young kids.
2 young kids, 2 elderlies, and there was a helper as well.
Oh yeah.
So there was 7 in total, right?
Yeah.
And it was so nice that the elderlies actually decided to leave the house during our viewing.
They were super nice clients. I think they prepared the house very well before each viewing, and they managed to schedule everyone to leave the house during our viewing, which was very important in this case.
Absolutely. So you guys are watching it right now, but I just want to, as we are going through, I just want to talk a little bit more. So after going for the site visit, right? Okay, what happened? Like, what did we do with the marketing team? You know, were there some problem solving that we had to solve before that? And how long did we sell this home?
1 month.
In 1 month?
Yes.
And record price, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the last transaction?
Okay, so last transactor was actually at 1.33, but that was for a bigger unit.
How big was it?
That one was 1528.
1528 square feet, right? And our unit was like
1345.
Yeah,
so 1528 it was actually inside facing, so it was pool facing.
Yeah, and ours was like out facing, patio.
Yes, correct.
And we sold at 1.3.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's about 30k, just 30k under, right? Yeah. Okay, so tell us more. How did we do it? And you know.
Yeah, so I think on the first site visit, is not only are we looking at what are the challenges, we're also looking at what made the owners fall in love with the home in the first place. Because it's important to know what their emotions are, and that's how we can actually sell it to the potential buyers that come in.
Yes.
So they told us it was a space, and it was a very huge space for them. It's very hard to find, especially in like the newer condos today, to find like such a big living room, and their master could fit like a king size bed. It could still fit in like your study tables.
Yes.
And most rooms nowadays you can only fit in like a single queen bed maybe. Yeah. So that was something that really attracted them to this home, and that was how we also sell the home in not trying to cover up like the flaws of the home, but accepting it and seeing how we can tackle the problems with it.
Yeah, I think one thing that we did right was like turning every negative to a positive. Because like, you know, we always say this, right? Some of the owners, they are a little bit more like, they're a bit like, you know, sian about selling their first floor home patio or stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And we always tell them this. We said, you know, actually, you fell in love with the home previously.
Yes.
There's a reason why you did that, right? It can be the price. It could be the space utilization. It could be the practicality of the area, right? And the owners shared with us that they really love this place because even though it was like facing the visitors car park as well as the playground, but to them, what is of most importance was actually the child's safety and the space for them, for the kids to be able to run around, right? And they talked about how, you know, when the kid ran out from the balcony area, he could go straight to the playground.
And they could see the kid play from inside the house.
Absolutely. They could enjoy the comfort of the house and they could see the kids playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. So I remember after that, we talked to the marketing team a lot.
Yes.
And then when we shared with them that, you know, this was a bin center unit, a substation unit, you know, a playground facing unit, it was a patio, they were a little apprehensive at first because they said, you know, there's also a reason why the previous agent took 8 months, 40 viewings you can't sell. But I remember clearly that the first thing that we talked about when the agent went for 40 viewings, we said that, okay, it may have been a viewing experience problem and it also may have been a negotiation problem because 40 viewings means actually there's interest, but it's just that no offers came out.
Correct.
Yeah. So what did we do differently actually during the viewing?
I think at that time, because the owner, when we asked about some feedback the owners couldn't really give us much feedback from the previous viewings.
Yep.
But the fact that there was actually 40 viewings, right, meant that we needed to know what went wrong, right?
Yes.
So I think what we did correctly moving forward was to follow up with each individual buyer on how they felt about the home.
Yes.
So during each view, I think viewing experience is very important. So we needed to understand the buyer's needs a little bit more so that we can tackle what they were looking for in each home, whether it's the space, if facing the bin center was a concern for them, how we could tackle it by letting them know that the bin truck actually doesn't come through this.
Yeah, we even
place.
charted the route of the bin truck.
Yes.
To show them that it doesn't go through that place.
And to let them know to turn each basically negative
to
thing,
a positive.
Correct. So for example, if the concern was the parking spot, then you could say it makes it very convenient for them, because sometimes when owner comes home, they just park the car there and they just walk home instead of then going down to the basement and then come up again.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's hard to hide each negative things because it's there. So we just have to accept it and see how we actually package this whole thing through our marketing team.
Yeah. I think one thing that you mentioned really aptly is the thought of not hiding the negatives and not concealing negatives. I think if you treat every single buyer that comes through the door as, being on your side as well, rather than playing against them, you feel that, there's a lot more objections that you can handle properly. Yeah. And if there are practical steps to handle these objections, the buyers will feel better. They will buy the house because they feel that, they can trust you. But if you are just avoiding all different kinds of objections, then the buyers will not trust you at all.
Correct,
right?
Yeah.
And I recalled this deal being quite a tear-jerking deal for us, right?
Yes.
I remember at the end, we were in the car park, 3 of us at 1+ a.m.
Yes.
Negotiation ended like 2+. The owner stayed out all the way for us. Chris, yourself, and I, we were in his car, and I think a lot of us teared.
Correct.
Yeah. Maybe we'll share with you a little bit more why this deal really actually impacted us so much, right? Yeah. But before that, I think one amazing thing about the viewing experience was that we made sure that the home looked like the show flat before every viewing.
Yes.
Because we wanted the buyers to fall in love with the place. AC was on. Items were staged properly. We had a great helper there that was clearing up the place.
I really had to thank our clients for it also. Yes. They took a lot of time and effort by following our decluttering marketing proposal. Yeah. So they really decluttered the house properly for us.
That's right. So for those of y'all who don't know, a marketing proposal and a decluttering proposal is always done for every listing that we go for to make sure that the home itself is being presented in a show flat location, a show flat condition. And a lot of times our clients actually fall in love with their place after decluttering. And they are like, we don't feel like selling anymore. So because sometimes homes are getting messy.
Yes.
And you're right, we have to thank the client because there was a family of 7. And one thing we realized is that the previous agent may have brought the buyers in with the 7 members in, and 7 plus agent, that's 8 plus another 2 or 3 more buyers, that's 10 people in a 1,300 square feet home. That will make the home very small.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's the reason why, the elderlies, honestly, I think the granddad and the grandma there, they were like walking out in the pool, they trusted us as a home. Owners fully trusted us as a home. They were always not there when we were doing the viewing. And that was also the reason why, how many open houses after and we sold it?
I think it was about 4 or 5.
4 or 5 open houses, right? And we got it out, right?
Yep.
And let's talk about the entire negotiation process. So, during the what's the profile of buyer that bought this unit eventually?
So it was a couple with kids and they had just sold their unit. So they were upgrading because they needed the rooms for their young kids because they were growing up.
Yep.
So they were looking around the area and they actually fell in love with the place because of the space, which is something that is very rare in today's market.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they came in and they actually offered 1.3.
Yeah. No, they offered 1.28.
Oh yeah, 1.28.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, they offered 1.26 first. Then 1.28, then 1.3, right?
Yeah, we closed it at 1.3.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So they closed it at 1.3. So later we'll share with you about the negotiation process a little. Before that, were there objections from the buyers? Like it's bin facing, it's substation. What was
I think just like the common objections that a lot of buyers would have when they come in is like the bin center, facing the car park and all those. But I think when they came in, we focus a lot more on like the positive side of things, on how the rooms are very big, which is something that, you cannot get in today's market.
In the new developments,
yes,
right?
Correct. Yeah. And then, for bin facing, we then tell them that the bin truck actually don't come through this area. So you're not really affected by it because it comes through another route and it goes one big round. So it doesn't actually even pass by the unit itself.
Yes.
Yep. So that are some of the ways we actually tackle the objections that they have.
Yes. And I think one thing is that to find a unit that is at $1.3 million, 1,003 plus square feet, under 1,000 PSF, it's almost hard to come by. It's a big unit. So for those owners who are watching this, right, every single home has that buyer that will buy it, right? And it's true. The key is about filtering it, and also for us, we identified what the demographic was. So I remember during the negotiation process, we presented the offer at about 1.26 million, right? And okay, our owners, one of them was working in a highly secretive location, and he could have no access to Zoom, and it was like 1:30. He was a night shift.
It was a night shift,
and it was like 1+ a.m. Right, and the wife was there, amazing lady, and we had a conference call, right? And I remember we shared with them the offer at 1.26. They were really excited.
Yes,
we love to share every single offer and bring our clients through the negotiation process.
We actually made them guess the offer, and they actually got the exact. Yeah, they actually got the exact offer
at 1.26, and I recalled that the valuation was at 1.27.
Yeah.
So we didn't feel good selling it at 1.26 million. So we asked them, how do you feel? And what was their response? Do you remember?
I think at that time, they were in a hurry to sell. So they really wanted to just, accept the offer and move on with the next purchase.
Yeah.
But on our end, we knew that, we had to fight the best for our clients.
Yes.
And, we told them that, give us a chance to try and push the price for you.
Yes.
Because we feel like, this unit is worth much more than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the owners were like, confirm cannot.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to burst the offer there. We already, with your marketing, we took 1 month, right?
Yeah.
Previous agents took 8. So there was like 9 months of waiting.
And they didn't have any offer at the time.
They had zero offer. This was like the first verbal offer, check offer that we got for them.
Yes, we got a check.
We in JNA, we don't do verbal offers because we know the importance of, we know how buyers can change their minds. So we only present legit check offers.
Yeah.
And I remember I told the owners, I said, you know what? Let's try our best, right? I have a good gut on this. I'm going to do a negotiation. We're going to work as a team. We had an amazing co-brook agent.
Yeah.
Right? And there was a bit of hint that this wasn't the highest she could give us really. But we promised her that we'll present the offer as well. So what happened was that we went back to the co-brook agent. We called her. We talked to her. I think it was like a 15 to 20 minute call at first, with some of the terms that she had, and it wasn't agreeable because I think our buyers wanted to rent back, our sellers wanted to rent back, but they didn't allow, blah blah blah. And in the end, after 20 minutes, it was like 1.28. And then all three of us, right, Chris, myself, and Grace, we were like, oh my god, we got a 1.28 million offer, right? And that was maybe $10,000 above valuation, right?
Yeah.
We don't really like to sell 10K above valuation. And I recalled that, we looked at one another and I was like, hey, let me just try a bit more. And they were like, I think we can try a bit more. And within 2 minutes of talking, I remembered, it wasn't even 2 minutes, I think like 20 seconds. Like we called the agent and we said, you know what? I think 1.28 is a little too low. What's the best your blah, 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 blah. And we got a $1.3 million offer.
Yeah.
And that was actually the moment where we looked at one another and we said, sometimes in this real estate agency work, right, there are a group of clients who don't see value in agents. And there are a group of clients who really do see value in agents. And this client of ours who trusted us, because of that trust, that mutual trust, we wanted to fight even more from her. And because of that trust, we fought $40,000 more. And that was cash, And
we really had to thank the client because they really trusted us with like the pricing and everything.
Everything.
Yeah, whatever, we told them transparently on the offer and how much more we could push, and they really gave us that trust and said, go for it.
Yes. Yeah. And after fighting that $1.3 million for them, we met them up and they shared with us an unfortunate story of the family. Yeah. Of course, we can't share it because it's confidential to protect interests. And I remember we were tearing in the car.
Correct, yeah. What's because we didn't know the importance of why they were so urgent in selling the home.
Yeah.
But I think after understanding and learning their story, then we knew how much it actually meant to them because these funds would then tide them over for personal reasons. Yeah. And I think at that point, even though it was such a difficult and challenging deal, I think Chris, you and I were just sitting in a car and just like,
wow.
Yeah, it was unbelievable that we managed to help them in this situation.
Yeah, and the initial offer that they wanted to accept at 1.26 million, because of the $40,000 more, it cleared every problem that they had actually. Yeah. And they were like, you know what? Thank you so much for this. And we realized the importance of a strong negotiator and strong negotiation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was even more touching, right, was I remember that the owner went for a staycation after selling their place.
Yes.
And it was a long-awaited staycation. And the son was like telling the dad to record him to do a home tour, JNA Locked home tour in the hotel room.
Yeah.
It was so touching. And
I think he saw us as an inspiration. It was something that, he wanted to explore in the future, even though he was 5 or 6. Yeah, he was very young.
Yeah.
It was very touching to see, go through the whole hotel room, trying to mimic the JNA Unlocked.
Yeah, it was one of the most heartwarming experiences that we have. Yeah, not the biggest deal, but really heartwarming.
Yes.
Any last words for maybe for people who are selling their PATIO or maybe for agents? Anything that you want to say?
I think there is no home that is too challenging because there's always the buyer there's always that one buyer that will like the home because, initially that's how you fell in love with your home also. I think not to give up for those of you who feels like your home is challenging. I think more importantly is to find the right team to be able to help you and to package the home correctly, in the correct light to get the best viewing experience, to also help you with the whole negotiation process. I think it's a very stressful situation during this wholesale process, but we try to make it as seamless as possible for our clients. We try to bear all the stress on their end because we know how challenging it is to have to go through like 8 months, 40, 50 viewings. That's like every weekend they have to be there to open the house for us. And I think there will be times where you just want to give up, but I think just have the right team to come and help you out with it.
Absolutely. I think for this particular deal, the secret sauce of success, which is what you said, was number one, it was a team effort. Like Grace was making sure that the viewing experience was well done. She was working tirelessly with the marketing team to make sure the video was done well. For me, it was a negotiation with the co-brook agent. And then for Chris, he was like there doing the financials to make sure that, the owners knew what they got themselves into and how do we faster find the next home for purchase, because we didn't expect the home to be sold so quickly as well, right? And another thing, I think a strong negotiator is super important in every deal, because it really makes you tens of thousands of dollars more. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the JNA Locked It series. I think if you have enjoyed this, share with your friends, give us a like. And, if you have any questions to ask us about selling homes, you can just let us know, right?
Yeah.
This is Jervis.
This is Grace.
And thank you. And I'll see you for the next episode. Bye-bye.